So, I just finished reading the 12-issue Rorschach story. Rorschach. Fair warning, I'm not going to get into spoilers until a little bit after, but you need to know that it's not Michael Korvac Rorschach. It is the idea of Rorschach. And while reading it, I kept hoping, it's introducing these characters. They're going to tie in the new characters with the Rorschach. So, but that never happens. So I was very bummed out to have that happen. But another thing is that, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But, hey, no. Sorry, my dog. I'm not gonna. Anyway, so, yeah, so, and, gosh, it's just perception alone of like, okay, Tom King, I loved the Mr. Miracle, I love Rorschach. I want to see some, this is perfect. How, like, obviously this is going to go right. Oh yeah, now I know what I was going to say. Initially, I was like, okay, so Tom King is doing a thing where he doesn't explicitly, kind of just respect Alan Moore a little bit, but when you're the original creator of Watchmen, you're trying to respect his wish, which is to not do any because the story ended where it ended, but gosh, a lot of the story is just so. I didn't get it like it was just a lot of different names of people and side stories and stuff, and it's manageable for another person, but for me it's I don't know, I feel like I struggle with that sort of thing, especially when the names are so generic and they're all white people, it's just like it's like kind of blend in, that's kind of like a weird thing for me to say, I don't know, but it's when you have more of a diverse cast, it also provides, you can distinguish people better, and obviously it's representation is important, so that is another plus. But I'm not saying that my point is fairly what is it called? Anyway, innocent, and I'm trying not to get canceled, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, so let's get back to the comic. Yeah, so reading this took a long time, and it wasn't like easy to be able to go okay, finish that issue, gotta move to the I gotta read the next issue. It wasn't. I wish I could say it was easy and enjoyable, but it just frankly was not as great as my memory, at least, of reading Mr. Miracle, and that's unfortunate, but that's the case. And I think there's so many better ways to spend your money, but it's really subjective, because if you like mystery and I just really wish I knew this wasn't Rorschach. This is I don't even know how to describe it, but potential spoilers here, but it's essentially like you know, it's, I don't even know what I was going to say, but essentially it's just like Rorschach-esque, and it's people taking on the Rorschach persona, similar to the HBO series, but not like that. And like, I didn't know what the truth was, you know. I'll get into that in spoilers, but it was just, I didn't know if they were crazy people or if they were telling the truth. And by the end of it, potential spoilers, you don't really get a satisfying conclusion of it. And I'm sorry if that like spoils it, but I honestly think unless you aren't too, you know, 12 issues, you're probably going to be spending a decent amount on the collection of it. I have individual issues, and I got a pretty good deal offline, but the covers are great. I think, you know, the covers alone are worth you know, keeping it for. But the main character, who is this guy, and he's the story vehicle. We see his story. We see the story through his point of view. And issue 11, things get really good and pretty cool to say. And it's he doesn't have a backstory at all. We don't get to see anything about him, and it was very odd because it's like, obviously the story's about Rorschach, and we don't want to be like focusing on this guy who doesn't matter, but he just ended up being the main character anyway. And you know, I don't know. See, there's just like problems with it that I just every issue I wanted to like it, and it's a great 12 issues, but it's just not my cup of tea, unfortunately. It's great. They're great. I have all the 12 issues, and I'm glad to have them. They look really cool, but it's just unfortunately not at all what I expected. And I can't say that I keep saying that, but that's just how it was. And it was a really good story, and I think, you know, Tom King is very talented, and it gets very philosophical in some parts, and I just really admire it for those parts. And it gets very good when that happens. But you know, when it's like, you know, like, it's not that it gets political per se, but there's a lot of politician. It's centered a lot around a politician and stuff. And so, this is my cat right here. So it's I don't know. Just with Mr. Miracle, it felt, you know, I did start tearing up, almost tearing up, in issue 11. I'm not sure exactly where, but that was very good. Definitely my favorite, peaked there. And issue 12 was just kind of like, you know, just kind of doing the final, you know, wrapping up the story. But yeah, it's I'm glad I read it. But I see the way I got these books is my mom got it's a funny situation, but I bought them. It was like, you know, $25 for all of them, and I got them, and I was like, hey Mom, yeah, give these to me on Christmas. And then she didn't give them to me on Christmas. She gave them on my birthday, which is in January. And so I was like anticipating, like really excited to be able to read them, and like, you know, have the art on my, like, I have my comic wall over here, and I was excited, like, oh, I'm gonna have all 12 of them up here, and like be so happy of how good it was and stuff. But yeah, it's just like, it's such a weird, it's like, it's not like Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but you know, it is that feeling of like, this is so well revered even though I'm not really taking this off of people's opinions. I'm taking this off of like, I know it's really good, but when I was expecting something else, it makes it not so good. And especially when I'm like, I'm not given the clear answer of like, Rorschach is not going to be in this, like I was for like 5 issues. I was like, he could show up. Like, I don't know why. But yeah, I was going to go into spoilers, but I don't really need to, because, I feel like, my points were very well put through without spoiling it, because I can't really even remember specifically what happens, spoilers. But yeah, I just one thing I'm saying about reading through it was just like all 12 issues. I wanted to like it, and I was hoping that when I got to issue 12, all the issues before it were gonna be like, so much better. And I'm like, I wanted to be something like, oh, so he was like the whole time he was Rorschach or something. Like, no, unfortunately it's not like that. So it's just I think that, it was boring at points. There was points where there was dialogue and I just had to go blah, 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 because I just frankly was just like, I want to get through this so I can go to sleep, because I read them before bed, which could probably be not good at some points. But so yeah, that was just like the case with just like so many of the issues, and there was some interesting bits for sure, but it's just the potential is what really upsets me, is what it could have been. And obviously it was a great book, but it just didn't have to be Rorschach, is my final words on that. But I was hoping to say good things about this book, but these books, but it's one of those bittersweet moments where it's like, I enjoyed it, wish it was something else. Not like I enjoyed it, could have been better. I just wish it was something else. It is pretty good, but with the way it's done. But yeah, I wish it was just Rorschach solving a mystery. But hey, that's the original Watchmen. That's the original Watchmen. So on me, So yeah, comment below if you have if you've read it or are planning to, and let me know if you have anything Tom King related to recommend to me. I read the first 2 issues of The Vision. I couldn't really get into it. First 3, because I was able to get the second and third issue, but not the first. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go put these together and say I'm done reading them.